we use Debian exclusively. I've tried Puppet on Ubuntu as well, but yeah, okay, let's face it, it's just Debian, but only newer, so of course that works. Maybe someone in the audience uses Puppet on other platforms than Debian. I'm personally curious about that. Does anyone? No? Too bad. And one of the really cool things is, I think, since Puppet makes sure at all times that your configuration is correct on your nodes, it's very well suited for Amazon EC2 or any other cloud environment. At this moment, we have a pilot project running on EC2 with some web servers. And if an instance dies for whatever reasons, and you start a new instance, well, you just run Puppet, and we're all good again. It works quite well. It works quite fast, and it gives us the opportunity to guarantee a very good uptime for the customer without using any load balancing or failover technique at all. So if you want to run stuff on EC2 and you hate installing packages again each time you start a new instance, well, use Puppet and you're good. Environments. Like I said, Puppet has support for traditional development, staging and production environments. But the cool thing is, since it's just Ruby, you can also rename those environments or extend those environments to allow yourself to separate customers or to separate networks. So if you do want a single large Puppet master for lots and lots and lots of customers, you are able to do that. But keep in mind, all your configuration is stored on the Puppet master. And yes, there are security mechanisms that disallow access to certain files between environments, but if someone is able to gain access to one of your Puppet nodes and is able to change the Puppet configuration on the node, and is lots of bots of course, and is able to change the environment on the Puppet node, it could gain access to other environment config files on the Puppet master as well. So that's one of the reasons why we have more than one Puppet master for different clients. And I hope those security mechanisms get better in time, but I'm unsure if there's any development in this area at the moment. Maybe I'll ask Luke about this.
Yes. How do the client and the server authenticate each other?
They authenticate using SSL as well.
Do you use certificates for it?
Yeah. When you install Puppet on one of the nodes, it generates a new SSL certificate. It's unsigned at the time. Then it talks to the Puppet master, and by default you need to sign the SSL certificate of a certain node. You need to sign it by hand on the Puppet master. So you're always in control what nodes have access to the Puppet master. For contained very large scale setups, there is an auto sign option if you want to. But since we use Puppet in real public environments, it's quite scary to enable that option, of course, since almost anyone is able to just authenticate to the Puppet master, and if they do know some host names or stuff, they were to be able to download stuff from the Puppet master. That would be very bad, I guess.
Yeah, so it's also some signing the other way around, because apart from having random systems connect to the Puppet master, it would also be very dangerous if there was some kind of attack like DNS poisoning, where a random node connects to a like a bad puppet master?
Yeah, well, to make sure man-in-the-middle attacks and DNS poisoning and stuff isn't a real problem, all the nodes store the certificate file from the puppet master. They store this as well.
Okay.
And if that's changed, they refuse to connect again. Sometimes it's really annoying, for example, when you reinstall a puppet master, but that's a different story. Other questions about security? Yes?
You mentioned a few times that the content from the puppet master, the content as in the configuration files that are stored there are accessible to multiple nodes depending on which environment they're in.
Yes.
So how is the content secured, or how do you prevent different systems and different environments to access content to which they don't need to have access to? Do you have any privilege separation there as well?
Now, what you can do is run multiple puppet masters on the same host using different configuration, but I guess that's a hack to do so. But in environments where we have different customers and where, for example, there's passwords in files for previous access or whatever, we just use separate puppet masters since. Well, in practice, we maintain the hosts. So, in theory, I shouldn't be worried about this. But since we know it is technically possible if you know how to and if you have the correct access to the security issue that arises then. Of course, it's a very, very small chance, but every chance is a chance, and since we want to make sure that doesn't happen, at this moment, like I said, we use multiple puppet masters for each setup or each client. But it's good you ask about that, since now I'm thinking about it, it's a real important security measure that should be taken. So I'll definitely contact the puppet developers about this. So a good one. Yes.
Yeah, so reading it. Those puppet URLs that are in those classes, it's not tracked, because it could be done that you see that the host is in that and that class, and that refers to those puppet URLs, and then in principle the puppet master could know that host should have access to those files and no other.
I guess that kind of security measures should be quite easy to implement. Yes, I guess.
Unless, of course, someone they make it so flexible that you can't know statically which files will be requested. It would be, I think that would be stupid to have that flexibility in, but.
Well, anyway, apart from how exactly that security measures are implemented, I guess that's a discussion for the puppet developers mailing list. But anyway, I guess there should be more security.